Resident Evil Village might be the most unique game in the entire series, and while it is overall a great game with beautiful graphics and amazing gameplay mechanics, the game is not perfect, and there are several things that you must know about before you buy it. But the game takes place in a mysterious village that is filled with many horrors, including terrifying creatures, but also enigmatic characters. The ultimate goal of the game is to navigate through the village, uncover its dark secrets, and rescue Rose. But this is not easy, and the world is a mix of gothic and folk horror with a richly detailed environment that includes a towering castle, a village, and even a sinister forest. The nature of the game is both terrifying but also captivating, as you must explore the unknown and face off against various monsters. One of the coolest aspects of the game is the sheer diversity of enemies and unique bosses, each with very distinct designs and even abilities that will definitely keep you on your toes. Now, in terms of the main gameplay, it is all about exploration, puzzle solving, combat, and survival. And if you're a fan of survival horror and action adventure, this game is right up your alley, with a great mix of tense exploration but also intense combat scenarios. You will start with the most basic tools and weapons. This could be a handgun and a knife, but as you progress, you'll collect more powerful firearms, ammunition, and other useful items. The game highly encourages exploration with a great number of hidden resources, treasures, and even important items that are also hidden throughout the environment. For example, you might find a locked door that requires a specific key. You might also find a puzzle that must be solved to proceed. These elements are crucial for progression, as they will often lead to new areas, unlocking the story, or even finding upgrades. The game also includes a crafting system where you can create powerful, useful items from materials you find throughout the world. For example, you can craft healing potions or even more ammo, of course depending on your needs. But as you can imagine, the materials are very rare and scarce, so you must decide the best use of them. Additionally, you can also visit the Duke, a merchant who offers supplies, upgrades, and even weapon modifications. Now, when you first start the game, the mechanics will be relatively simple, but will become more complex gradually. You must also learn how to block enemy attacks to reduce damage dealt to you. Now, as you progress throughout the game, you'll unlock a variety of weapons, anywhere from shotguns to sniper rifles. Furthermore, the game also includes an inventory management system where you must organize your items and weapons with quite limited inventory space. One of the most important gameplay mechanics is the sheer variety of puzzles scattered throughout the entire game. These puzzles can be very simple, like finding and using a key, to more intricate, harder puzzles that could be aligning symbols or even manipulating objects in the environment. So as you can tell, this game offers great replayability through its many difficulty levels, secrets, and unlockable content. The game also includes many difficulty settings, anywhere from the more casual to the hardcore settings. But one of the coolest settings is the Game Plus mode, where you can start an entire new playthrough but with all your previously acquired weapons and upgrades, making it much easier to explore and find all the collectibles you have missed. Now, just like any other Resident Evil game, the progression is key, and in this one, it is designed to gradually increase your capabilities but also the challenges you meet. So in the early game, where you have the most basic weapons like a handgun and very limited resources, that will be quite easy as you explore and learn the mechanics. But as you advance to the mid and even end game, you will acquire more powerful weapons, you'll gain more inventory space, but the enemies will also become way tougher, even including boss fights that will demand very specific tactics and preparations. Now, one of the most unique but also interesting features is the sheer variety of environments and the design of the 4 main lords' domains. So every lord will control a very specific area within the village and will offer a very unique gameplay experience. For example, the castle is a towering gothic structure filled with elegant yet ominous hallways and hidden secrets. The gameplay in the castle will focus a lot on exploration and evasion, as the lord and her minions will stalk you, creating a very tense survival horror atmosphere. Then you have the factory that'll provide you a very different challenge. This environment is all about industrial hazards and mechanical monsters. It is way more towards action and will require you to use your full arsenal of weapons, but also strategic thinking. But I don't want to go too far into it to not spoil anything. But it is this very unique design where every domain not only has their own unique visual style, but also its very own thematic and gameplay focus, which greatly enhances the overall experience of the entire game. And it does this by preventing the game becoming repetitive, as you're constantly faced with a new challenge and atmosphere. This variety also allows the game to blend different horror elements, from a more psychological and atmospheric horror to even action-oriented sequences, making it both rich but also multifaceted. Now, you might think to yourself, with all these very distinct environments and all the gameplay mechanics, that the game might be quite difficult. That is actually not the case. And that brings me to my next point, the game's difficulty. The game has multiple difficulty settings that will cater to new players, but also seasoned veterans of the entire series. So the game is relatively player-friendly and provides you with options that allow you to tell your experience based on your comfort level. Now, the game won't hold your hand, and there will be a good deal of trial and error later on throughout the game. For example, there are moments where you might might encounter a new enemy type or a challenging puzzle where you'll get little to no instructions on how to proceed. And these are the moments where trial and error are a must, as you'll need to experiment with different strategies but also solutions. But the game will cater to almost everyone, where the casual player can choose an easier difficulty setting and just explore the story and atmosphere, and where the most hardcore player can choose the hardest setting and experience a truly challenging game. In addition to the main game and story, there are also additional game modes like Mercenaries, where you can take on time combat challenges and achieve high scores. This mode is completely separate from the main story and offers a more action-oriented experience, with a big focus on combat skills and strategy, and adds an extra layer of replayability. Now, as you can see by this video, this game is beautiful, and that brings me to my next point: the graphics, the sound and atmosphere. The graphics are honestly stunning, with a very immersive experience. The environments are detailed, along with very realistic character models that really bring the eerie world to life. Furthermore, every area, from the gothic castle to the creepy village and even the surrounding landscapes, are also richly detailed, creating a vivid but also unsettling atmosphere that really pulls you in. The sound design is also top-notch and really adds to the game's tension and mood. This could be the ambient sounds like the creaking floor, a distant howl, or the unsettling quiet of a dark corridor, really adding to the feeling of suspense but also dread. Then you add the music on top of it that will really heighten the moments of danger and horror. So together, the graphics, the sound and music create a truly atmospheric experience that make you feel deeply immersed in the game world. That being said, the game is not perfect, and there are several pros and cons that we must cover before you consider buying the game. The first pro is the sheer diversity of gameplay and environments. The game has such a good mix of exploration, puzzle solving and combat, where every area provides a very unique experience. This variety in gameplay keeps the game very fresh but also engaging, as you encounter many types of challenges but also enemies. The next pro is the rich storyline. The game continues the story of Ethan Winters and ties into the larger Resident Evil universe, with a very intriguing plot, great and memorable characters, and intense moments, truly making for a compelling narrative that really keeps you hooked. And the final pro is the stunning graphics and immersive atmosphere. Honestly, the high quality graphics really bring the game to life, anywhere from the gothic castle to the mysterious village. Additionally, the detailed environments and the character design really enhance the overall immersive experience, make you feel like you're truly part of the story. And now for the cons. The first con is the trial and error. Now this won't apply for everyone, but for newer or more casual players, there will be moments that require a lot of trial and error to overcome, which can be very frustrating, as you will often be faced with a very difficult enemy or a puzzle without any clear guidance on how to solve it. The next con is the mixed pacing. The pacing can sometimes feel a bit uneven, where there'll be certain sections being slower or even less engaging than others. And while the diverse gameplay is a strength, it can also lead to part of the game feeling less consistent in terms of excitement and challenge, where it is quite minor, and maybe I'm just nitpicking. But with that being said, let's grade the game. And Resident Evil Village gets an amazing 9 out of 10, and for several reasons. It has an exceptional blend of stunning graphics, immersive atmosphere, and really engaging gameplay. The game truly stands out with a detailed environment and character models, creating a visually rich and eerie world. Furthermore, the variety of the environmental settings, from the gothic castle to a haunting village, really keeps the gameplay fresh and exciting. The game's diverse gameplay is another strong point. It combines exploration, puzzle solving, and intense combat. Furthermore, the progression system is well balanced, offering a gradual increase in difficulty that keeps you engaged right from the start to the entire finish. Then you add the storyline on top of it that is truly compelling with a rich narrative. However, the game is not without its minor flaws. The trial and error elements can be quite challenging, especially for newcomers, and the pacing can feel uneven at times, as some sections of the game may not be as engaging as others. However, if you're a fan of survival horror games with stunning visuals, atmospheric setting, and highly engaging gameplay, then Resident Evil Village is simply a must-buy for you, and it's truly a standout game with a blend of horror, action, mystery, and amazing story, and it's absolutely worth your time and money. For more amazing games, click here.